Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. It is July 10th. That's what I should have right there. July 10th. You know me, Tom Coffey at Coffee and Nuance. We are live right now on the YT, on the YouTube, on the Rumble, and on the X. You can just bookmark this on the screen. Just bookmark it. It's the easiest way to find the show. And today I want to talk about something that's very pertinent to what is happening in my life and maybe with you as well. I just wanted to see if anyone else was joining us, get some people in the chat. As always, I will be going through all of the live chat at the end of the show. Call it the after show. That's when I'm done with my lecture. I interact and go through and read all your chat. So if you want to throw in some emojis of fire and coffee, please feel free to do that. What's up, Lucid? Nice to see you. Anyway, we are going to get to it. And today, we're talking about something really interesting. Pouring a cup right now? Well, cheers. I just poured myself another hot cup of coffee. Tom, how can you have hot coffee when it's 100 degrees in Portland today? It's like, well, I have air conditioning. No, my air conditioning's been out. My central air is out. I just put one of those ones, things in the kitchen window. It's trying to cool down the whole place. It does okay until about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Then it doesn't work as well. But glad everyone's catching me live. Let's get into this topic that we are talking about, and that is the Galileo effect. That's right. Today, talking about something as old as ignorance itself, but as relevant as my latest tweet, and that's the Galileo effect. This is when you know something to be true, but everyone else thinks you've lost your mind. Let's kick things off with a little history with our main man, Galileo. Picture this. It's the 1600s, and he's chilling at his telescope, sipping on some coffee or maybe some fine Italian wine. Who knows? He looks up at the heavens and says, hey guys, the Earth isn't the center of the universe. It's actually doing its own little dance around the sun. And the church says, really? How about we lock you up in your house forever and you think about what you said? You crazy heretic. Galileo was the original whistleblower. And instead of a medal, he got house arrest. Fast forward to the 19th century. Let's talk about Ignaz Semmelweis. That's right, Semmelweis. He was a Hungarian doctor who had this wild idea that maybe, just maybe, doctors should wash their hands before delivering babies. You notice that when doctors washed their hands, fewer mothers died of perpetual fever. Not perpetual fever. I can't read. Puerperal fever. That's what I get for copying and pasting a term, and I didn't even read it. Shame on me. But it was revolutionary, right? His colleagues were, why, wash your hands? Preposterous. We're gentlemen, not butchers. They thought he was nuts. It took decades before germ theory finally vindicated him. Meanwhile, Semmelweis ended up in a mental institution. Talk about washing away the evidence. Then there was Alfred Wegener, the meteorologist who in the early 20th century suggested that continents drift. He looked at a map and thought, hey, these continents kind of fit together like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. Maybe they were once connected. His peers responded with a collective eye roll, saying, sure, continents move. What's next? The Earth is round? Wegener died before the scientific community finally accepted his theory of plate tectonics. Now we teach it in middle school. How about Barry Marshall, the Australian doctor who in the 1980s claimed that stomach ulcers were caused by bacterium, not stress or spicy food? The The medical community laughed in his face. So what did Marshall do? He drank a petri dish of the bacteria, gave himself an ulcer, and then cured it with antibiotics. Talk about taking one for the team. He won the Nobel Prize for his trouble. But for a while there, people thought he was just a guy with a death wish and an odd palate. Now, what do these guys have in common? They were right, and everyone else thought they were out of their minds. The Galileo effect is about standing up for the truth when the whole world is ready to slap a crazy label on your forehead. It's about being the lone voice of reason in the room full of noise, the person who sees the light when everyone else is still in the dark. So here's to Galileo, Semmelweis, Wegener, and Marshall. They remind us that progress starts with someone willing to challenge the status quo. It's a tough gig. Someone's got to do it. So the next time you're tempted to dismiss a new idea, just remember the earth really does revolve around the sun. Doctors should wash their hands. Continental drift is real. Ulcers is caused by bacteria, and this channel is being... My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, the least watched, censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. That's right, the Galileo effect. And speaking of the little censored thing I did there, I got some news about what's happening with this channel. And I don't think you're going to like it. But we'll get to that in a minute as soon as we get through the Galileo syndrome or the Galileo effect. And this is when an individual holds a belief or knowledge that's correct, but is met with widespread skepticism, disbelief, and even ridicule by the majority. And the term comes from, obviously, Galileo, Italian astronomer, physicist, polymath, who in the early 17th century supported the heliocentric model of the solar system. And this model, as you know, posits that the Earth and other planets revolve around the sun. This was controversial and contrary to widely accepted geocentric models endorsed by the Catholic Church at the time. So here's some key aspects of this. And you may find yourself at this too. It seems as though many people, maybe on the left side of the spectrum, that have been living in a mainstream media bubble, found out last week that maybe there might be something wrong with the president. They might have heard all the crazy people saying that it looks like he's lost a step. Looks like he might have dementia. Perhaps he's got, some other degenerative mental cognition. Who knows? That was all dismissed. It's crazy. Well, the Galileo effect means correct knowledge against the norm. So the individual possesses knowledge or beliefs that are accurate, but not accepted by the mainstream or authoritative bodies. So, it's met with skepticism and ridicule. The majority of people dismiss, ridicule, or actively oppose an individual's views. This can be due to a variety of reasons like societal norms, established doctrines, lack of evidence available at the time, or they're just a big fat dummy. Okay? Often, if you hold a view that is true, but the rest of society doesn't want to hear it yet, you can feel isolated and persecuted. Social ostracization, even persecution. In Galileo's case, he was tried by the Roman Catholic Inquisition, placed under house arrest for the remainder of his life. Now, it doesn't quite happen here these days, but historically, you have vindication. Over time, the truth of the individual's knowledge is often recognized, maybe even after their death, which is kind of too bad. The Galileo effect highlights cognitive biases. such as confirmation bias, groupthink, and sometimes this can lead societies to reject correct information in favor of widely held but incorrect beliefs. So what we've found is that most people are resistant to change. They don't like going against established beliefs, norms, even in the face of new correct information. Fear of the unknown, right? So it takes courage and perseverance to stand up, individuals who stand up by the truth despite widespread opposition. And this is a reminder of the importance of critical thinking, open-mindedness, and the willingness to question established norms. So that's what the Galileo effect is, and we have seen a lot of this recently. Like I say, we've seen this with Joe Biden's cognitive abilities. Up until 2 weeks ago, if you were to mention that, you're just called a crazy conspiracy theorist, right? A nut. I tell you, it is tough when there are things going on in your life and you know the truth about them and other people just want to reject that. I have that happening. I want to tell you a little bit about something, just a little semi-announcement here. This is one of the things I'm dealing with. Hey, look here. Our Tom reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think it violates our policy on harmful conspiracy theories. We've removed the following content from the old YT. Time it occurred, you can see an example of it at 2 minutes and 4 minutes in, 2 minutes and 4 seconds into your video. There may be other instances. Well, it's really interesting that that is the case because the powers that be, they just deleted the video from a year and a half ago. And I was doing a talk on willful ignorance. I was talking about people being willfully ignorant, and at the time code that this was, now I had to go on other platforms to find my video because it was removed from the YT, from the YouTube, it was removed. I was saying that printing money doesn't solve the economy. And that is a wild conspiracy theory, everyone. So, to be clear, politicians that think it's a good idea just to print money, I am not making any judgment on that whatsoever, because apparently that's a wild, crazy conspiracy theory that gets this channel hidden, gets the videos hidden, and in fact, what's really fun to do is you can go on Google, you can search for my videos by the title of my videos, and no longer do they appear anymore. You cannot find them with a Google search. So I guess it's election season. But I do want to talk about what can I do about that. I'll talk about that in just a sec. But let me first, I want to do a quick read while we've got some people here. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, nope. They dropped off. Oh, my goodness. I was just about to do a live read, but we don't have enough people watching live. So I guess maybe I'll have to do a live read tomorrow. Maybe I shouldn't have announced it. I should have started it before I needed enough people watching it. Anyway, that happens. Who cares? Anyway, so let me see what's going on in the chat. Nice to see everybody. Let's see, boom, 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 and then I'll tell you about some other stuff that's happening. What's up, Lucid? Pouring a cup now. Gonzo, catching you live on the commute home. Very nice. Hashtag coffee gang. Like it. Joe said, hey, friends, for some reason, chat took a few minutes to load. Yeah, that was kind of weird. I did notice that today. Hashtag Midnight Americano. Yes, I do want to get back to doing a Midnight Americano show. So I'll have more information on that in a little bit. One day I will be vindicated over my theory that black holes are pocket universes as a space expands exponentially the closer you get to the center. Well, that is an interesting idea, Joe. I had not heard that. Perhaps. Cheap fakes sure dropped out of the mainstream talking chart awfully fast. Yes, they did. The cheap fakes, it was very good. It was a good attempt. But then what happened was they're saying, hey, you gotta watch Joe Biden in context. Don't just look at a short clip of him. And then the following week came the debate, and people could actually see him for a length of time. And then they realized that all those cheap fakes they saw were pretty accurate. So yeah, we did see that. Tom, have you watched Vibes of the Cosmos yet? I asked you to check it out several times. Oh, no, I have not. But you can ask me again next week. Everything takes longer than you think. You've been influenced by all three of us watching. Yes, it is true. I have been influenced by that. Joe says, money printing should solve all my financial problems. Hashtag fact checked. That is true. Absolutely true. Just printing money, that is the way to solve all the problems. Now, I do want to do one quick live read. So here we go. This is Rumble's exclusive apparel has finally arrived. They are now offering 20% off purchases in the Rumble store with the discount code DROP20. If you want to support the brand that is fighting for free speech and fighting for our First Amendment, this is the best way to do it. They have tees, sweaters, hats, and much, much more. Go to rumble.store and make sure to enter the code DROP20 as the promo code to get 20% off your entire order. Well, I tell you, I am going to do that. I do like this Rumble hat that we have there. I do like the black on black. It's very cool. So as soon as I get my Rumble hat in the mail, which I've ordered, I will show you how it looks and if it actually fits on my head. It's kind of hit or miss with with baseball caps for me. I got a kind of a big noggin, but thanks for sticking through the live read. And I don't know why the live chat is kind of let's see, why is it? Not sure what's doing that. It's a little bit cut off today, but we'll solve that. So anyway, Tom, what can you do? What can you do if the powers that be are doing things to hide your channel, to hide your chat? They're threatening me of just nuking the channel altogether. Well, I'm thinking, I guess I got to get a couple other channels. I wish I could just get everyone to go to another platform. Hint, hint. That would be kind of nice if people would, do that. But if not, I was thinking maybe I love doing these talks on Wednesday about not politics per se, but just an idea. And so today we talked about the Galileo effect. I like talking about kind of these psychology ideas once a week. I don't like to talk about them all that time, but perhaps I should make another channel and just talk about big ideas. And then maybe that channel wouldn't be hidden. And then maybe people might find that other channel, right? And then they might come to this channel if it's still around. I don't know, man. It's tough. But that's what I was thinking. I can but it's hard to put my effort into things when I am just getting squashed by the powers that be. It makes it does make it really tough. Yes. The people who invented the term cheap fakes told on themselves. That's true. What's up, Rev68? Yes, over on Rumble, I do have some custom emojis that you can click on. I need to have a few custom emojis, but I'll I'll work on that. Yes, chat is cut off on the screen. I see that it is. I don't know. Every day it's something else, right? So that, but I will see if I can fix that. What I need to do, a little inside baseball, is I have it set I have it set at a certain size that it's going to do. But then the size of my browser changes. I might make my browser bigger to look at something and shrink it down. So if I don't get it exactly the exact size, then the text doesn't look right. And so I need to figure out, and I'm sure that there's a case that either in the Firefox or the Brave browser or something like that, I can just enter a code and make it so that the window is the exact same width. I think that's what I have to do. Yeah, it says, Joe, you can give up or carry on with expectations on the floor and be pleasantly surprised every time people do manage to show up. That's kind of where I'm at right now, Joe. But I get it. And Rev68, look at those awesome emojis. We've got a little tiki mask and some fire and all kinds of great stuff. Joe says, I have two competing theories about YouTube. YouTube creates mental disorders, or mental disorders are a requirement to trend. Everyone that I know who makes money on YouTube have poor mental health. Well, that's too bad, because I want people to have better mental health. Maybe there's an idea. I've been suggested that I should, make a channel. Hey, Tom, why don't you make a channel about being bipolar, right? It's like, I could, but it's hard. Like, I don't know what I would say about that to have enough content, or how many. Can't really talk about that every day or every week. This is what it's like to be bipolar. Here's what you can do about it. And a lot of that gets into medical advice, and I'm kind of anti taking the pills if you can avoid it. I'm more of a work on your physical health. Working out seems to be better for my brain than taking medication. That's just me, though. Why don't you do a channel about Asperger's? Like, well, I could, but I don't think it's going to reach a whole lot of people. And even if you're interested in Asperger's, I mean, how often do you want to hear about Asperger's? I don't know that would be a channel that would be that exciting. Although I can't see how it'd get fewer views than this one. But that's not something I want to talk about every day, right? So I don't know. It really is it really is hard talking about the same thing every day. It's why I've avoided content creation. I agree with you there, Joe. That's kind of why I want to do this channel that it is because I just do what I feel like, but it looks like the people that do the same thing all the time, that's how to build a following, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, that's what I've been thinking about. I've kind of been dealing with some of this censorship stuff and being threatened with having everything removed. So that's a little tough. Joe says, and the only channels that have diverse content are channels where people come for the personality rather than the content. Yeah, I agree with that. I wish I were better looking and had a better personality. But I understand. I understand. So anyway, that's what I'm trying to think about, whether I should do a second channel on just big ideas and have it be totally non-political and see if I can get that one to grow. Years ago, I thought I would have a channel where I just reviewed streaming shows. And I did like 5 videos and I quit because I got some comments I didn't like and it hurt my feelings. So I don't know. I mean, I still have that channel and I can get back to trying to do some, Netflix reviews and Amazon Prime reviews and stuff that's streaming on Apple Plus and all that kind of stuff. But obviously I need to do something that's not on this one here, as to see if I can grow something, right? Because this is tricky here. Erie Fairy says, I was talking about books. I haven't posted in a while, but I need to get back to it as soon as possible. Yeah, it's something else I can do. You know, I guess I got to have a book club and read a book a week, and you know, then have a chat about the book. I don't know. There's lots of ideas, but I just wanted to share with you that I was, you know, that this is happening here, and it makes it hard when you've got like a dozen, you know, you got like a dozen people watching, and it's still being censored. So anyway, it is what it is. Anyway, the Galileo effect. Maybe there's something that you know that's true, and it's really hard because none of your friends and family want to hear it yet. It hasn't been mainstreamed. And so I just wanted to tell you that is an idea. That is an idea. And for me, with the with that idea, one of the things is I know that people that are on YouTube that have massive channels, they don't understand what it's like to be small and have the thumb put on the scale. They just don't understand it, because it was like, well, they were really able to get big. Well, chances are they got big before 5 years ago. And that's kind of when everything changed, when any kind of independent news is shunned on this platform. And just think about it. Is there any new independent news channels that you even know of? I don't even see them. I don't find them in my feed. I never come across them. I used to be able to come across different independent news creators. I don't come across anyone doing that anymore at all. And that's just kind of the nature of what's happening right now. So anyway, Galileo effect. You know it's right. The rest of the world hasn't caught on yet. So that's something to think about. I will be back on Friday. And who knows, maybe I'll have figured out something. Figured out a new channel or something to start. Anyway, hope you all have a beautiful one. I think I'm going to go watch some soccer. It's England versus the Netherlands right now in the semifinals. You're kidding. Is it 1-1 already? 2-1? How did I miss? I've missed the whole missed part of the first half. Anyway, I'm going to go check that out. Hope you all have a beautiful day. I will see you next time. Peace.